Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed building video. And today we are going to be recreating this home I'm about to pop up on the screen. The link will be in the description box if you would like to check it out or check out some other homes on that site. I found that a lot of them were, I think, easily replicatable, if that's a word, in The Sims. So I picked this one because A, it looked simple. It just kind of looked like, you know, perfectly placed boxes, and inside it had a very natural floor plan. It wasn't too complicated, so this is what I went with. And I also thought putting it in Henford on Bagley would give it more of that farmhouse feel. So here we are, just creating the basic shape. I added a base game door because it was black and it had the white trim, and then the windows are from Seasons and they are white with a black trim, which matches, I think, pretty well with the image I have up on the screen, and just kind of creating the bump outs and making sure everything lines up. Then we're going to quickly pop into the upstairs floor plan. I have switched the picture, just kind of getting the basic shape of where the bathrooms are going to go, also where the stairs come up here. There has to be a little space for that, and then there's also like a mechanical room up there, but I do end up creating another small bathroom instead for the teen son of this family. Those little itty bitty boxes are for little closets, so I thought that was handy to just include now. And then we are back downstairs with the downstairs floor plan. I added these stairs and I just kind of cut to when I finally got the right shape, and I walled them in so we wouldn't have to use a railing, which is always nice because you know how they clip into the wall. It's very annoying. And then here we are mapping out the vaulted ceiling living room is the very big square off to the right side, and then in here there's a whole bunch of little tiny boxes. The bathroom for the primary bedroom is separated into like a shower room, a sink room, and a toilet room. So you'll see here I'm just placing down some furniture so that I know what I'm doing when I come back to it next time. Where the countertops are, I put 2 sinks, there's also a toilet room, and then that's the shower room. Also there's a laundry room, so I just put a stacked washer and dryer. And I do shrink that room a little bit because I figured you don't really need that countertop space. It was just kind of for fun. And then in here, there's a little 3-tile bathroom also in the hallway for everyone to access. And then over here, I'm just placing a bed so I can get a map out of the room, and also a very large closet, which I end up taking away later, but you'll see that when we get closer to like the middle of this video. And also adding an archway from cats and dogs into the hallway space, and the sliding door is from Moschino Stuff in the white swatch, and these doors are just base game. They came with the Horse Ranch update that we got a while ago now. And then adding a standing shower from Snowy Escape in here to the shower room as well, because I thought it was good to have many options. Very fancy people have very fancy different kinds of showers. And then we're lining up the countertops, just some placeholder furniture so that I could get the placement correct. We have regular countertops and island, and then we are into the living room space where I am picking out a fireplace from Cottage Living right in the middle of the room, and another archway from Cats and Dogs from the living room into the kitchen, and this lovely couch from Cottage Living as well, and then this door from Strangerville because I liked the pattern on the glass. And adding some more windows. You'll see I just kind of do a bunch of window placement here. It's all the same windows from Seasons. They have a lot of really nice swatches, and I like how the sills kind of look deep, even though they're not really, but they look like they are. So I thought it gave a very nice touch to it. And then we're back upstairs, adding the lights and just finalizing, because I had to delete some walls to add those stairs. So I had to finalize the shape up here. But here is going to be the girls' bathrooms. There's 2 little girls in this family and then 1 teen boy. And I'm adding a fence and then deleting this whole roof or the whole ceiling right here so that it can give a vaulted ceiling effect. Then I had to add the floor piece back so that we could add our roof pieces later on, which we'll be doing momentarily after I add a little bit more flooring and get that all squared away. I will also be adding more floor pieces so that I can add like the divider between the floors, not the frise, but whatever that other thing is called. And then just some simple roof pieces here. At first, I do end up getting rid of this piece right here, the gabled roof, because I realized I had to kind of do a custom roof with half gabled pieces first to get the same effect as is in the inspiration picture. It gave me a little bit of trouble. It took me a long time. I cut out most of that because it just was kind of me hitting the undo button a bunch of times. But here we are with that final shape. And then I just end up pulling those eaves back ever so slightly so that I can add the front porch kind of hang over piece, and one more flooring piece here as well, so that I had a surface for this roof. And I think that it looks pretty close so far to the image that we have up on the screen. Once I add all the siding and the like sheet metal roofing, it will really come together. But these pillars are from Horse Ranch, as well as the spandrels, and then I just use some base game stairs, but you'll see that momentarily, just adding the final roof piece back here to the back deck area, which is where our dining space ends up being, because the kitchen wasn't really big enough to add a dining table, and I figure your Sims will probably just end up eating at the island anyway, so not really that big of a deal. So hopefully, if it's, you know, not too bad weather, they can just eat outside. And then finishing up this very tiny, insignificant roof piece that I just had to kind of fit in there somewhere to make it make sense, and adding some more windows here. I did have a little like artist rendering of the back of the home, but I did not include it here just because I already had so many images for you to look at. But it just had these two tall windows, and I thought they looked really nice back there. And then we are working on the chimney / fireplace area, and I'm just adding two cute little tiny roof pieces, and then adding this chimney from Cottage Living, and I'm just using Tool Mod to position them correctly. Pretty soon I'll be adding a fence piece from Base Game all around the top here instead of a half wall, because the half wall just didn't quite look right. It looked a little too, I don't know, boxy. I wanted a little bit more of an ornate pattern around where the chimney was. And then we added our roof texture there. It's a sheet metal roof texture. And then shortly I will be adding the roof trim, which is just a plain white roof trim. And I tried to pick one that would not clip. But here we are adding the siding finally. So inside the roof eaves is from Outdoor Retreat. And then for the rest of the siding, it's just two different kinds of the plain slatted white wood from Horse Ranch. And then here's our little jutting exterior trim all around. That's what it's called. It's called a trim. I knew I'd figure it out eventually. And then we have more of these flooring pieces coming together so that I could add more of the trim all around the home. And I think that that just makes the whole house look exactly like how I wanted it to look, like just like the picture. And then we are adding our stairs, like I said, and the railing and the fence piece are from Cottage Living in this white swatch. And then the foundation is just a simple one from Base Game. It's kind of, you know, a little bit of a step situation. I don't know what you want to call it. It's two-tiered, but I added that just to kind of blend in with the house. I didn't want it to be, you know, a brick or a stone. I thought it would be too much. And then we are back into the kitchen, and I'm using these Cottage Living countertops, obviously in the white swatch, trying to keep that design cohesive. And then I also end up adding the stove from Cottage Living in here too, the kind of old looking one. I thought that added a little bit of that farmhouse charm. And then the upper cabinets are from Cottage Living as well. And I actually didn't mind the yellow tone on the curtain on these upper cabinet pieces, so I do kind of lean into that a little bit with the color scheme. It's not super overly yellow because I thought that that was a little, I don't know, a little much, maybe a little maximalist for this family. So I do add a little tea station over here with that shelf from Tiny Living, and then the kettle that came with For Rent, and a smoke detector above the stove, of course. And then here's the island going in. I was going to try to do the double island like is in the inspiration picture, but I just could not. It was too big. So adding these chairs from Dream Home Decorator, obviously using that yellow swatch because that's what I wanted to do. But the walls, I just kept kind of this muted grayish green kind of just simple tile from Growing Together. I didn't want to overdo it with the yellow. And then also adding a hutch from Cottage Living here and just kind of squeezing it over a little bit. And I do add a trash can here, which is from Get to Work, but I think I move it to the other side of the room later on. So you'll see that like momentarily whenever that happens. I forget when this was, but I also use the same flooring from the outer decks, just in a different swatch from the Country Kitchen Kit. And then these hanging pendant lights from Cottage Living because I really like the patina on those lights, and then they have a matching wall light, so I use those as well. Sink from Cottage Living and some bathroom clutter kit stuff going on the counter, and then this dish rack from For Rent. And then I also add the dishwasher from Parenthood because I thought that it worked really well in here and kind of matched like the fixtures on the countertops and such. And then over here I'm adding these lovely little like canisters for dry goods, flour and sugar and whatever else, and then a little vase of cooking utensils over here on the counter just in the corner using alt placement, and then a little plant from Greenhouse Haven also over here in the corner. I thought that really got the point across. I tried to add a lot of plants in here, but I also didn't want to overdo it. Also, those herbs above the stove, those are from Bloomin' Rooms, and I think they're perfect for a country kitchen. And then an Instant Pot for the busy family, because that is essential in my opinion. And then we have a lovely flower arrangement just going in the middle here because I wanted to fill up the space, but I didn't want to unnecessarily clutter it because I think that this family tries to keep everything pretty clutter-free when they can so that they can easily just move about their day. And then we are adding one more little hanging wall plant over here. Just on that little piece of wall. It just kind of looked naked. I didn't like it. And then a little kitchen curtain from Growing Together on these two kitchen windows. And that's pretty much it for that side. Then we're adding a broom and dustpan from Laundry Day. You'll see I just moved the trash can. And then this Parenthood board as well as another whiteboard from University. And I thought that this was like where they planned out their week, their meals, their sports schedules, etc. I thought that made a lot of sense. And we have a little oil lamp going in with alt placement, of course, and a little pussy willow plant, which I just think is so pretty and so like, you know, tiny and just cute. I don't know. I like it a lot. And then we have a little mat going in front of the sink, and I had to change it. The yellow was too much for me, so I changed it to gray. And then in here in the laundry room, I'm just sizing down this rug with Tool Mod. That is from Laundry Day as well. I just wanted it to kind of fit in this area, and I do believe I end up changing the swatch on the washer and dryer, but I'm not 100%. And then we have this lovely wall hanging assortment of old-timey laundry things just hanging on the wall because it's fun. And then we are changing out the counters also in the sink room to the primary bedroom and adding some mirrors from, I believe those are from Seasons as well, or they could be from Base Game, I'm not sure. And then the herringbone tile, obviously from Growing Together. It is my favorite, and I use the blue in this bathroom because I don't know, it's just very simple and a lot of things match it. So blue is a good color for Sims. And we're adding a little organizational tin right here and some towels and some perfumes, and then some obviously soap canisters. And I don't think I added the toothbrush cup in this one, but that's okay. All the other bathrooms have toothbrushes and stuff, but maybe the parents put theirs away, so that's totally fine. They don't need to have them out. And then I'm adding these hanging wall towels from Growing Together, and I did kind of place 3 in a row right up against each other, so I was sure they were centered on the wall because that always bothers me. And then a little runner rug here, which is actually from Fitness Stuff Pack. It's kind of like a shaggy white rug, and it was just perfect for that space. And then we are adding a hanging towel bar from Bathroom Clutter Kit. And I moved the shower over and add this little bathroom hutch thing, and that is just from Base Game. I really enjoy that. I think that it just gives a little bit more interest to the room because I didn't want to just put a plant for no reason. I kind of wanted it to look like it matched. And then just moving the shower into the wall a little bit so it looks like it's all one piece. And then this fluffy rug from Snowy Escape to step out on after you get done showering. I thought that was nice. Adding some more of these lights from Cottage Living. They match the pendant lights in the kitchen. And then this bathroom comes together really quickly, so I'm just going to give you a quick overview. I do add all my favorite bathroom clutter stuff, the toilet paper roll and the plunger, and then I added that tiny living shelf. Right now it is up too high, but when I got over to screenshots and saw how high it was, I did move it down before I saved it, so it should be up on the gallery with no problems. Then we're just kind of repeating the same thing for this bathroom, so I'm only going to show a little bit of it. But just so you know, I did a lot of playtesting. There were a few things I had to scooch around, maybe shrink down a little bit, but this whole house is functional and playtested, so no worries there. I do enjoy playtesting because any excuse I get to play Sims, I usually don't get a whole lot of a chance to do that. It's mostly building, so don't worry, I have got you. Everything works very, very well. Now we're back in the living room. I picked out the rug from Growing Together and the matching armchairs to this couch, and at first I add these standing lights from Cats and Dogs, but I do end up replacing them with like an end table and a table light because I don't know. I think I just liked it better. The standing lights were really nice, but they weren't quite modern enough. They were a little too Farmhouse. And then I added a little desk nook and also that clock hanging on the wall from Cottage Living. And then I used this above deck board for the walls with like kind of gray paint on top. I thought that that looked really nice. And then over here we have the entryway coming together. I'm adding this like console table or entryway table from Cottage Living as well, and this lovely large plant from Paranormal Stuff Pack. I think I put that in almost every single build as well. And then I add a mirror up above it, and this one's actually from Get Famous. It's very, very ornate, so I tried to find a swatch that would work. Also a fiddly fig right over here in the corner. I had to move everything over just so he would fit because I like him and I wanted to include him in this. And then we are adding this little light with like a plant on it from the Book Nook kit, and then a coat rack, and I do end up adding a umbrella stand to this as well, and I think also a entryway mat. But first we're adding these curtains from Cats and Dogs. I thought that they matched the swatch of the couch really, really nicely, and I did not want to clutter up those windows too much because it just I didn't like the way it intersected with the desk, and I didn't feel like moving the desk out. So just these two big windows have those curtains on them. And then we have this bookshelf from Parenthood, and that goes in the corner here. And then we're adding this little like ottoman seat from Horse Ranch, and also fireplace tools because that is needed. And then a TV mounted above the fireplace, and that one is from Modern Luxe, I believe. And I did have to delete the wall out like right behind the fireplace because it was clipping to that, so we didn't want it to go there. We wanted it to go on the fireplace. Here I am adding a desk lamp, though. This one I believe is from Get to Work, and I think it's an unlocked item. And then we are deleting those floor lamps, unfortunately, and adding these little end tables from Cottage Living. And then the light is just base game. It's this kind of fancy, expensive one. I thought that made a little bit more sense in here. And two lights next to the fireplace because I enjoyed that. And then I had to add a bunch of wall lights to make it make sense in here because there wasn't a whole lot of ceiling to work with. So I didn't want a whole lot of hanging lights. Also another hutch in between the hallways, and then we have a very large hanging light up here from Cottage Living to add some more light to the downstairs. And now we're adding some more plants to this hutch right here. I grabbed one from Bloomin' Rooms, and then this one is just from Base Game in this little tin, and I thought that looked really, really nice as well. And then we have another hanging plant from Bloomin' Rooms going over here just next to the door to the back patio. And then I thought it would be cool to have like a little kids corner over here. So where the bookshelf is, I add a art table and then this little selection of pillows for sitting, and then they also have that ottoman for sitting. And I pick out a rug from Dream Home Decorator in this like greenish tone because I thought that matched the rest of the room really, really nicely. And I think here I am picking out the umbrella stand right over here next to the door, and the entryway mat, this gray half circle, just fit perfectly right here. And a little stack of books on the desk, and also a pencil holder because you need those when you're working at a desk. And then I'm adding some trim to the interior and also some more of that brick and changing the swatch on this fence piece that looks over into the living room from the upstairs. Now we're into the parents' room. This is very, very Modern Luxe. Everything in here is from Modern Luxe, so anything that isn't, I will let you know. But this is where I decide that I needed to get rid of that closet because that space was going to be needed for our little vanity table section. And I think that that was a wise choice because they have a dresser and they have a mirror and then they have a vanity table, so they don't really need a big closet anyway. And I'm adding these very, very tall curtains because I actually got to use medium wall height, and I was very, very excited about it. I can't always make it work, but for this house it worked perfectly. And then these little metal shelves over here, I do add back where the dresser goes, and then of course the plant, there's the rug, and then I add some more windows in here because it was a little windowless. And the wallpaper's also from Modern Luxe, and instead of a wood floor I gave them a carpeted floor because I thought that they wanted to be luxurious, so gave them this lovely, like, really, really fancy, I assume it's a very expensive tan rug because it blends in really nicely. And these little lights here from Growing Together, I will be moving very shortly, so kind of wasted my time with the placement, but that's okay. And then I had to move the vanity table out a little bit. It was clipping with the curtains, and I did not like that. Also, this very lovely squiggly hanging light from Modern Luxe. Oh my gosh, it's just so pretty. I can't help myself. And then some paintings. This one hanging behind the bed is from Get Famous. And then the other one on the opposing wall is from Base Game. It was an update, like an SDX drop a while ago. Also adding some shoes over here next to the vanity table. Maybe that's where Mom puts her shoes on. And then moving over some more stuff so we could fit the dresser. So I did get rid of that Base Game painting. Oh darn. I thought maybe I just moved it to a different wall. And then we are adding these glass shelves also from Modern Luxe, and I did clutter it up with a whole bunch of stuff. We got makeup, we got workout stuff. A lot of it is from Parenthood, Everyday Clutter Kit, and Bathroom Clutter Kit, and then the little box is from Dream Home Decorator, and the plant is from Bloomin' Rooms. So lots of different clutter, and I did have to be very careful with the placement and get everything back where I wanted it, but I think it looks really cute and just like perfectly cluttered and also organized. And then one more plant here from Bloomin' Rooms in the corner because I wanted one more plant. And then we're cluttering up the vanity with some nail polish and some nail care items, also the little purse from Modern Luxe, and a cute little plant on the table. That one's from Dine Out, I believe. Then we are in the little hallway downstairs, and I just add a little chaise lounge from Dream Home Decorator and that decorated wagon wheel from Horse Ranch. Now on the back porch, I'm adding a table from Cats and Dogs, and then the chairs are from Cottage Living in that pink swatch. I thought it was really pretty. And then a Cats and Dogs like oval shaped woven rug, which is perfect for outside. And then to fill in this little empty space here, I just use the Base Game like tiered planter, and I just kind of scooch it all together, and I think it just looks so nice. So that is that for the downstairs for now, adding some more windows. And now we're working a little bit on the bathrooms. I'm just kind of copying and pasting for now all the things that I need, getting the flooring ready, and then adding our toilets that we wanted to use and the mirrors. The mirrors are from Tiny Living, and I believe both the sinks are from Growing Together. I don't know if I changed the swatch on any of them, but you will see that shortly. And then adding some more doors. Obviously, they didn't have any doors yet. Some soap pumps, some toothpaste cups, obviously paper towel rolls, and plungers, just the whole spiel, everything. Little candles behind the toilet. In here, I thought it was going to be very pink and girly and fun, and I gave them like the cat theme. So we have a lot of pink going on, and then I add that lovely organizer just above the shelf. That's also from Modern Luxe, by the way. It's just a different swatch. Over here, we have the towels on the wall that match, and then I changed the swatch on here to have the gold trim because I really like the gold, and I just wanted to bring that in, especially from the soap pump because I had a gold trim on it. So that is why all of the swatches just changed. And then a hanging little towel on the wall next to the sink from Growing Together because I love using that. And then two little robes over here, of course matching. One is pink, one is yellow. And then the mat on the shower is from High School Years. And then over here in this little tiny bathroom, this is where I had the most trouble with routing, so I did have to change a bunch of stuff in here. But we have the Snowy Escape shower and divider, but what happened is obviously your sim can't get through that itty bitty space to get to the shower or the toilet, which was a problem. So I did have to like size down the divider with tool mod and scooch the sink back into the wall ever so slightly, and then I had to like rehang the towel that I'm about to hang on the divider itself. So this towel here, I had to kind of delete all the walls and then place it and then redraw the walls and paint them again. So in order to fix up that bathroom, I had to do that a second time. But it did manage to make it work. So adding of course our bathroom clutter stuff, the toilet paper roll and the plunger, and then we are into the teens room. It is very blue and black and kind of moody. The bed is from Seasons, and then that little bookshelf is from High School Years, as well as the desk in the matching wood tone and from the matching collection. And then I added it over here in the corner instead. So they have not that many decorations. They do have some wall posters. They have this very ornate end table here, like the round one. I think I did use that one recently in my Lil Simsy Shell Challenge build on the front porch of that last build, but I don't really use that table very often, and I've been using it more and more. I've been finding more places for it. And then the desk chair, I believe, is just from High School Years as well. Also gave them a tiny little gaming computer setup, this one right here in like the blue swatch, and then a little speaker set on the back of that desk. The curtains are from Eco Lifestyle, and then we also have a lava lamp lamp going in over here behind the desk because I wanted it to be really, really fun and kind of moody, like I said. But I do have to end up changing the placement on the desk because the sim didn't want to sit down at the computer without having to make it multiple steps. So that is something else I had to change. But adding some more wall posters and some fun decorations to the wall. They also have carpet in here. It is blue, and then the walls are like gray with some white trim. Added one more window over here with a curtain, and then a plant on top of this bookshelf, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff from high school years. So some books, some crafty stuff. And I think I also add the little chicken alarm clock thing. And then also there's this little stack of boxes, like with school supplies, I assume, next to the bookshelf. And then there's also a little there's also a little stack of clothes and the team poster for the video game team, and then a little artboard hanging on the wall. That little cube light is from Snowy Escape, and I do end up adding a laundry basket to every single room, although you might not see it in the speed build. You will see it in the screenshots because I do add a laundry basket to every single room because I figured there's laundry downstairs, but nobody has a laundry basket, so that's kind of a problem. Also, the flying womp womp is going at the foot of the bed because why not? And then we are adding in here in the hallway a lovely chess table. The chairs are from Cats and Dogs in that very like muted kind of off-white swatch. And then in the hallway I also add this little console table here with a mirror on top from Seasons, my favorite, and then I use Tool Mod to lower it because it's way too high up. And then a little plant, which I believe is from Base Game, and then this little tray of candles from Tiny Living in here. I love that swatch. I think it blends in perfectly. And just a little stack of some organizational boxes just to finish the clutter up. And then we have one more light from Cottage Living, just the short one instead for the hallway. And adding some more plants. I have some tall pampas grass here in the corner. And then on this wall, I have some hanging flowers. I do move them over just a smidge onto the other wall because I wanted to add like a painting up here, and I used this one of the horses from Horse Ranch. Put that on the wall, changing the orientation of the doors so I could fit in one more plant from For Rent right there in the corner. And then in the middle of the hallway, I use this circular rug from Cats and Dogs, just size it up one click and move it over ever so slightly. It's not perfectly centered with the light, but it's centered with the room. Now here's the girls' room. I totally did not have the footage for this for some reason, so I apologize, but it is mostly high school years, the bed, the curtains, the rug, and then the desk is from Parenthood, as is the light. There's a little tablet, lots of decorations on the walls, mostly from Parenthood growing together. There's also a little mirror right next to their closet, and they have a laundry basket. And then over here they have a big stuffed cat and also a dollhouse. And they also have some more posters over here. My little girl actually lost her tooth, so she got the Tooth Fairy posters. And I also added the Monster Under the Bed nightlight thing. It is in between these two curtains, just sized down ever so slightly so it doesn't take away from the room. But that is it for their room, and I'm sorry I lost that footage, so I hope that that will suffice for now. And we have some debug fencing going in after I picked out the chicken coop. I couldn't find a real fence that I liked, so I picked out this debug fence from University, and I really, really like it. And it also has some matching cap pieces to it, which I will end up adding right around here. And I just had this fence go all around the house, and I think it frames it in very nicely. I like the Cottage Living fence, but it was almost like too cottagey, if you know what I mean. It was like too rounded. The fieldstone just wasn't fitting it for me, so I thought that this more like structured brick made more sense. Now we're going to see a lot of landscaping. So I do repeat a lot of the flowers and bushes all throughout the home on the outside because I didn't want there to be too many different kinds of plants. Also, there is very minimal ivy, but I do throw some ivy in because I just have to. I love it. And then some more of these red flowering bushes from Debug and Live Edit. Most of the rose bushes are from Cottage Living Debug, as is that foxglove that I just sized up a little bit. I end up using Tool Mod to size it down ever so slightly from that because it was just a little bit too big. And then just arranging these ferns with these low-lying yellow flowers. There's also some lavender thrown in and this big white hydrangea. And then I just kind of organize them in a way that made sense. I also added some grass along where the fence is because I thought that was really pretty. And then this lovely flowering tree from Cottage Living, and I put some like wildflowers underneath it. I also add a bunch of those like oopsie-daisies, those little tiny white flowers underneath, because I thought that it made the whole area just blend in really, really nicely before I put terrain paint down. once I do put terrain paint down, you know I'm pretty much done. And then we have some more ferns coming in here and more lavender on this side. I really didn't want it to look too overgrown, but like there was a lot of native plants and the family just likes to keep them looking nice, but doesn't really disturb them, kind of lets them do their thing all around the home. So I thought that was really pretty. And then we added a mailbox from the For Rent pack. I like this little tiny white one because it just blends in really nice. It doesn't stand out too much. And of course a modern trash can. Then we're in the backyard and we're adding some plots for planting vegetables and fruits and such. You'll see patchy and some more vines, and of course my little favorite corner tree that I'm putting on either side of the chimney piece, and I think that it just kind of frames that area in so nicely. And Patchy's going to get some flowers too. We have some lavender and some more foxglove going in here. It's very, very cute. I tried to keep everything pretty cohesive, and there's some more grass pieces and also this table from Greenhouse Haven, and I pulled out a whole bunch of little stuff to add to this table from Greenhouse Haven because I really wanted it to look like whoever was at this table, whether it be mom or dad or one of the kids, was working on getting these seedlings into the ground. As soon as they were ready, they wanted to get them into the ground. So we have a little selection of seedlings in the little egg carton containers and also in the planters. I also added a light from Perfect Patio. They have some spray bottles. Everything is ready to go. And then here is some potting soil and mix over here next to the table. I just thought that whole space was perfect. Now I couldn't figure out where to put the bee box for the longest time, but I did select this space over here, kind of catty corner to where the chicken coop is. I didn't want the bees to sting your Sims constantly, so I tried to keep it slightly out of the way. And then I did do off camera a bunch of cluttering of plants over in that corner, but you'll see that, in bits and pieces. It's just a bunch of the same plants. I just kind of bunched them together so they made sense. Also, there's monkey bars and a little oil lamp on top of the table on the back patio. And here I am trying to throw in some terrain paint under the dirt over here, the little plots to plant, and then a bunch of more terrain paint on this side. I did put little tiny spots underneath the monkey bars as well, and then some more terrain paint around the front, just trying to make it all come together really, really nicely. And of course, some patio pavers terrain paint as well, right in front of the steps. And they lead all the way over here on this little twisty path to the backyard. And I'm just kind of painting everything together to look really nice. I also add a little bit more of a flower bed right here just to fill in a little spot of dirt, just to give it a little more interest so it wasn't quite so square. I didn't want it to go completely with the whole line of the property. I just thought it didn't look quite right. So that is where I went with that. And I also added some more flowers on this side and one more little tree. I think I just went with a regular base game live edit tree. I think it looks really pretty, and I put some more oopsie-daisies under there as well because I like how that looks. And then here in the backyard I did add some cobblestone thrown down, maybe that's just the old path that used to be there and it's barely visible, so I covered it with some dirt, added a few more flowers here to frame this all together, and then added a little bit more terrain paint and a little bit more flowers here too, and also a double trash can out back. It's good to have, because when you have a chicken coop, it's good to have a trash can outside near the chicken coop so you can throw away when you clean the coop. Adding some more vines here as well to the back of the house and also this back corner, and just framing that in nicely, adding some exterior lights. And we are almost done. After we add the exterior lights here, which I believe are from Get Together, we are going to then go back in and just add a few more finishing touches and we will be all finished. So we have a little bit of a flower cart here going on the front porch, and then a lovely chair from Outdoor Retreat in this white swatch. I really, really like that white swatch. And adding some backpacks over here next to the coat rack for the kids. I did have to size up the lamb one because it just looked a little too small next to the other backpack. And then the teens backpack is the black one with the stickers. They also have matching lunch boxes. Of course they do. And they are going to be sitting right here on this island end piece. And I did arrange them so they looked a little bit more organically placed, not quite so in a line. And then some snacks to the underside of this countertop, as well as a lovely tea mug on top of that shelf. And this is the final product of our house, and I have the original inspiration image up here as well. I think it came out really, really cute. I hope you think so too. So the rest of this footage is just the sun coming up in Henford on Bagley on this lot, and I'm tickled. I just love it. I think it's so cute. So if you enjoyed this speed build and you want to see more, please be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Also, in the comments down below, let me know if you would have done something differently or if you'd like to see something else in the future. If you have any special requests, I would love to hear them. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye, guys.